Good morning. Are we sick and tired of the gallery yet? Because I have at least two more videos. No, sorry, including this one more video in addition to this one that I'm recording now. So I've been working on so much on a filterable gallery that we can. I, I'm trying to take this that we've already built because this is like the third or fourth video or fifth, third, fourth, whatever, on this same kind of setup. But I keep getting questions, and that's great. The I had hoped to wrap it all up and create this one kind of holy grail of a custom gallery that could be built in GenerateBlocks, but I have been foiled at every um, turn. I keep thinking that I'm onto something, and then I try it and it doesn't work. So it may just come down to we dig into some PHP and JavaScript, and that's okay. There's only so much that a builder can do without its own custom block when you go for something like that, because a filterable gallery is. For one, there's a lot of ways to do it, but two, it can be somewhat complex in the way it works. So anyway, what I'm going to do today is just take what we've done and very simply show you what I had to do to get the captions working. And I thought I'd have to use a different Lightbox setup, but the what is it called? The gallery. What is it called? What is the name of it? I have a link of it. Lightbox for gallery and image block as a plugin, and by Johannes Canast. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but anyway, it's a great little plugin. It hasn't been updated in a little while, but I mean, it doesn't really have to. It does what it does, and it turns out he's built in filters, PHP. We're going to do a little bit of PHP to customize some things. So what I've done is, let me see. Oh, no, I didn't. Okay, let me pull this over here. So I've created a gist that I'm going to link to. I shouldn't call that functions. That's too plain. I need to name it something else. So these are the customizations I put in place, and I'm going to show you that we're going to put them in place one by one. This one's already there because we wanted to simply on-queue the assets, the JavaScript and the CSS for the Lightbox globally, because it was doing it based on CSS selectors being present, and we weren't always getting that. So it's lightweight. Let's just have it ever present. But we're going to need to do a couple of other things to make this work the way we want it to. So let's dig in. So we have our gallery, and I actually have two in place, and there are no captions. And I can't even remember, to be honest, if do I have descriptions or no, there's not even alt attributes. Okay, so I should have done this beforehand. So this is the page with our custom gallery blocks. I have the links to the videos. I'm going to put these in a playlist so they can be watched in order, because each one kind of builds on the previous one. So let's go over to look at our galleries. What is this first one? Is that just movie stills? Okay, so let's go in and we'll use the captions field. So you know what? I'm going to pause this and fill in some stuff so you don't have to watch me type. So back shortly. All right, so I've added some captions real quick, and now let's go to so if we go back and refresh, we still don't get any captions, so we have to put those in. Thought I did update. So let's go to our elements and our gallery block template. And we're going to change up some things. So let's look at that tree view or list view, whatever you want to call it. And so first, we need to take care of some stuff. So I can add a caption, and it makes some changes. It adds a figure element around the image and then the caption itself, which is going to be a fig caption tag. So that's fine. That's let's take a look at that and see what happens. So let's go to loop item. Yeah, and meta key. I think we have to do the gallery image. I think that's what it's called. I'm looking at my cheat sheet over here, but I think it. So that is returning. So a loop item going through that, pulling that image, but it's returning an object or an array. I can't remember. So we want the caption portion of it. Required to render, yes. Okay. And it's showing as a link because remember we made the loop item an anchor, a link, whatever element. So the whole thing is wrapped in that. So let's do a teeny bit of styling. Change it to a dark gray color. And we're going to remove the text decoration. Why is it not doing? Oh. Okay. I know why. Because, okay, we're affecting that, but we need to do this. So we need to go to the A element. You know what? Let's not bog ourselves down in that yet because we're going to make some changes. So let's just go ahead and save this and see how it looks because we're already at 7 minutes. I intended for this to be a short video, but I guess I talk a lot or over explain. Okay, so now we have captions. But you see the problem here. It's the same caption for every single one, and it's pulling from the very first one. Now, why is that? I'm still not really sure because I was pulling my hair out trying to figure this out. I thought it'd be easy, but it can never be easy. It can never be that simple in most cases when there's just that one little thing you want to do to customize it. But it is possible. So if we now try to make some adjustments, and what we want to do is, so just to keep this short or try to, what I did was I looked at how it was selecting elements for captions and how it was selecting elements for links to show the big image and that kind of stuff. And if you look at a native WordPress gallery, which is what this plugin works with, this Lightbox plugin, it targets a figure element, and the link, which we have outside of the figure element, is inside. It's only wrapped around the image. So we want to kind of imitate that. Now, we don't have to because we can do some customization, which I'm going to show you, but we're going to make some adjustments overall. I'm just going to show you what I did. So first of all, we're going to lose this figure element. So we're going to pull these out and delete that. And we actually don't even want this to be a link. We want it to be a figure. Oh, wait, there is no choice for figure element. Man, okay. So we're going to just select a div, and we're going to go in here, and we're going to link to, I'm pasting that because we're targeting the URL of, so remember it's looping through the gallery. The meta key for the images is ESB gallery images because it's a gallery, so it's returning an array, and each time it hits the current image as it loops through it, we're pulling the URL because we want to show the full image. Required to render, I think it will always be, yeah, so insert tag. Okay, so now you see the anchor element is no longer making the caption a link because the link is only applying to the gallery image. Okay, so this is still a fig caption, And that's not valid. A fig caption has to be within a figure element, figure tag, whatever you want to call it. So if I refresh, we still get a gallery, and it still works. But for one, it's invalid HTML, and we still have the caption problem. Okay, so first, let's make it valid HTML. Well, I remembered that I saw... I closed it out. Okay, first, let's go to this. So here's the gist that I'm going to post a link to, and here... that is the wrong one. Here is my child theme. Okay. So this is my work stuff. Here's, WP admin, WP content, themes. Here's my generate press child. Okay. So this is also on GitHub, a version of it. If you want to go snag it and play with it, I really need to update it and clean up some stuff. But anyway, I still use it for all of my sites. So this is just the functions.php file. And one of the first things I do is hide the admin bar. Here's where I on-queue my scripts. And here's where I started doing the Lightbox stuff. And you know what? If I was working and this was a project site, I might go into my ink folder and make a separate file just to manage all this stuff. And then what I do is at the bottom, I include everything with this require get style sheet directory, blah, 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 and pull in all the ink stuff. There's a reason I do it this way, and I can't remember why. It may be because GeneratePress does it that way. I'd have to look. Anyway, another video, another time. Let's go back up, and yeah, let's sit right here. Okay, so let's switch back over to the gist. We have this one put in where we have pulled in all the assets for the plugin. So now let's copy this one and jump back to our functions and paste that bad boy right in there. Okay, so what is happening? So the plugin author has created a filter that lets us hijack the current settings and kind of inject our own settings. So we're telling the captions filters that, hey, when you get here and it's time to do this, instead of returning what the plugin has, use what I'm giving you. So I created a function that fires when it reaches that filter, and then that function executes this. And I've tried let me do line wrap. Okay, so it outputs a little piece of JavaScript that takes care of the selectors. So it's telling the plugin that when you hit this gallery or this image, and let's look for where the captions may be. So first is checking for, sorry, I selected too much. This is the selector because it's returning that little bit of JavaScript. Now I've customized it a little bit. I pulled out a separate variable. So in PHP, I'm saying, here's my custom selector. So in addition to looking for the stuff that's all in here, look for this too. So this is a little JavaScript selector. And I've tried to explain in the comment, the T in T parent element class list, what it's doing is targeting the anchor element that points to the large image in our gallery. So once it finds that, it says, okay, go up and look on the parent element that wraps around that anchor element, check the classes on that element, and see if it contains this. So that's my custom one. Now they have parent element classes contained. So WP block image, that's a native element. WP block media text media, that's a custom. So this double pipe means look for this or look for this. And I've injected another one so that we can drop in our custom selector or look for what I've indicated here. So I've given mine this name, GPC Gallery Media Item. So we have to plug that in, and I need to make sure that, yeah, so that should go on the loop item. I believe that's right. I think that's right. We're going to see. This will be interesting. So this is basically a big old if-else statement. It's saying if you find this element or if you find this element, then look for this element. Else, look for this element, and then return this stuff. Okay. If I remember right, this is all we had to do. So this is only a little bit that we'll have to figure out. And so we'll look at that. Okay, so that's the first thing. Now, for the last bit, I remembered in the Generate support forum, GenerateBlocks Press, whatever, both, that Ying, one of the support girls, she had mentioned, someone had asked about adding elements to certain uh, blocks in the GenerateBlocks library, like why it didn't have this element or this element. And she was like, oh, well, you can fix that. So I use this, and lo and behold, we can add a figure. So I'm going to pull this. And because my child theme is set up the way it is, I have a GenerateBlocks folder that has some old stuff. You know what? We're not even going to go there right now. Let's just drop it in here. Okay, filter for custom captions. Okay, now I'm not going to walk through all of this. Essentially, this is another filter, another way that we're able to insert our own things. And this is actually a native, I want to say this is not native to GenerateBlocks. This is, but I'm not 100% certain. I haven't done that homework. Anyway, essentially, we're looking for, here's the line that lets us target the specific item. We want to look for the loop item. And then we want to say, hey, in addition to all the attributes you let us pick from, add figure, please. And this is an array. So we could add multiple items here. We could add figure and, if we wanted fig caption, whoops, got to be in quotes, fig caption, but we don't. We just have one, but it still has to be an array. Okay, so that one, so save. So done that. So now let's go back here, and I think we've saved, and let's refresh. Okay. So now if we go to our loop item, look at there. We have a figure, baby. Okay. So now we have a figure. We have an image that has a link around it that points to the larger version of the image. And we have a fig caption that targets our caption. Okay. So let's save that, and let's see how things are looking now. I think we still have another step to do because we added that. Yep. So see, it's still showing that same one. Remember, we added this. We added our custom selector, this class name. And where do we put that? Now, I'm honestly looking at my cheat site over on my other screen, and I know where to put it. And it's confusing me a little bit because, oh, no, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. Sorry. Because I forgot what this target was. Okay. So this class name, I'm going to copy it, needs to go on our figure element because remember the T targets the A element. So let's look at our code real quick and I'll show you. So here's our gallery. Here's our looper. See, we've given it a class name of gallery, and that class name is what triggers the lightbox effect on our gallery. But now it's full of these figure elements, and that's fine. That's what we're going for. So this is the loop item, and here is the A element, that anchor tag element, whatever, that we know that the Lightbox plugin is targeting. And remember the JavaScript. So there's the A element. That's what that T represents. And go to the parent element. So this is a chain. So the parent element of that is our figure element. And we need to give this a class name. does that class list contain this? And it does not right now, but let's make it so. So let me target the right. So now we want to go to our figure element, which is the loop item, and we want to give it a class name that we've specified. I'm going to save that. And now let's see what happens. I'm going to close that out and refresh. Okay, let's see. So now we get our captions, and they're working. And they work regardless of where we click. Okay, and now you can go to town styling stuff. So let's say, images look great with a little bit of border radius, just a smidge. We'll give 3, and we can, maybe this is better as bold. We're going to drop the font size a little bit. Let's go to 0.75 rim. That's really small. Line height, maybe a little bit of spacing. Just a smidge. Maybe there should be some color. I don't know. Yeah, maybe there needs to be more space in between. So that's where the looper comes. This actually controls the grid. So that grid layout, here's where so I'm going to do one rim. And that's the gap between the columns and the gap between the rows in your grid. That's a little better. So visually, it appears that you have more space between the rows. So let's try 2. It maybe need to be more subtle than that. And it might be a little too much, but that's okay. That's stuff you can fiddle with. But one thing I wanted to try, and this was just something in my head that may not work, it may totally crash and bomb. But what if you could style this? Because it's just CSS. And, we can certainly do that with, let's see. So, these are all IDs, classes. Let's see. Labeled by. Good grief. I didn't know you could do multiple labeled by. So this is all ARIA stuff, which I want to do. I really want to do video on. I want to target, say, full image. I thought there'd be more classes. And we can probably add classes if we want to. Because I don't know if with GenerateBlocks, I never thought of this, if we can target IDs or other attributes if it has to be a class name. But that's okay. We can try this. So let's see, full image, big caption. How about full image, figure, fig caption? Let's see what we can do. No, we'll keep it simple. Full image. So let's see. So what we'll have to do, because it has to apply to an element. Let's do this. Full image. Okay, create. Blank style. Well, let's see. Copy local. We'll do that. We're going to copy those styles. And then we're going to do new big caption. Create. Okay. So, but we're going to do, because it's on, we're going to do a lighter gray. No idea if this will work. No idea. But now we want to remove it from that element. Remove. Save again. It worked. Where's that the right font? I don't know if that is the right font. Big caption. Full image fit. Oh, wait. No, it didn't work. Or it tried to. So we'd need a way to override that. But it did make it bold. Where did that come from? Because it wasn't bold before, and it took on the font size. Okay, so maybe. So that was global. Weird. So where did that go? Okay, hang on. I know I need to shut this down. I'm sorry. Font size. Okay, that's really weird. Full image. Big caption. Oh, it's duh. Okay. So let's duplicate this. And let's go back and do this. I'm going to get rid of this. Clear. We're going to apply it to the pseudo, or not pseudo selector, to the nested selector. Oh, man, what? Sorry, I wasn't in the. Oh. Okay, so now it's, wait, oh, yeah, well, we can lose that. So now let's go into there. That's what I want. Okay, so full image, fig caption, that's what I want to target. Okay, so is there anything I can do to make it more specific? Because it has an ID. I can't really target an ID. I don't think. Well, I don't want to target an ID because they're all different. Let's see. Oh, wait. Edit. Okay. So let's do fig caption. Let's see if I can do that. Okay. So now we have that. Let's do 0.8 rim. Font weight. Let's go bold. Let's really change the color so that let's make it like yellow, just so we can notice the changes. Okay. Let's make it save. That should have saved it so that. Yeah, okay, so main has no styling. Okay, so let's just, I know it's going to look weird. Okay, so it didn't override the color. And it didn't override the font family. Okay, well, I'm going to stop there. You get, okay, one more thing. Is that Franklin Gothic? I can't. Yeah, I guess it is. Yeah, Libre Franklin. Okay. So it didn't take on the color. I'm a little disappointed by that. I just don't know how to override that. Oh, because it's an ID. Yeah. So that the specificity of that is too great. So we'd have to work that out. But anyway, you can adjust the font size and the weight and things like that. That's kind of cool. We could even put some padding around it. But anyway, there you have it. I will shut up and move on with my day. I have a lot of work to do, and I hope you do too. And I hope that helps. I hope that wasn't too convoluted. I know there are some other steps you have to kind of jump through there. Oh, and there's one without the look. So these have captions and these don't. So it still does work for that. That's good. So anyway, there you have it. Captions. One more phase, one more step in our journey to create the perfect Lightbox gallery with advanced custom fields and generate blocks. Uh, please like, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'm having a blast doing this, and I want to be able to do it more. And as I see the list grow, it's really exciting. The list, the subscriber list, whatever. I'm having a lot of fun, and I hope this is helpful. Uh, Next week, I have no idea if it'll be another gallery or if I'll finally figure out the filterable gallery thing. I am working on it. Hang in there with me, and we'll see what we can come up with. Even if we go the custom PHP and JavaScript route, I'll make it as step by step as possible and post the code and all that good stuff. So, y'all take care. Have a great weekend. And see you next week.